Hello, this is Malorian. This is going to be a Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. It's going to be my third game in the month-long tournament. So this is the one where you get, at least your one game every week type thing. And now this is now the last one. It's going to be my Dwarves up against some Lizardmen. So this is the first time I'm up against Lizardmen. But one thing I want to say right off the bat here is that this guy is fairly new to fantasy. Like, this is his second game of fantasy ever. However, going into this, I'll also say that from what I saw, there were no tactical mistakes. You guys can go and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but let's just get right into it. Alright, so the game we got was Mini Engagement, and the stuff that I had not started on there was my Warriors with Great Weapons, my Miners, my BSB, and my Organ Gun. For the most part, I don't care about this because I like the whole idea where I can basically flank, and with the Anvil I get, like a flank charge. But the bad thing is, of course, the Organ Gun, it won't get a turn of shooting. But hey, again, normally don't shoot the first turn with the Organ Gun anyway, so it's not really that bad. What I'm having starting on the board then is my cannon, my grudge thrower, my organ gun, my warriors with shields, and my anvil. For him, what he's going to have not starting on is his Troglodon, his Basilodon, and his big Blockosaurus. One of the things he'll have on here is these Ripperdactyls. So first time I'm going to see these guys. And they're making a prey of my cannon. Otherwise, what he has is a Skink Priest. He has a Scarvet on the baby Carnosaur, and on the larger Carnosaur, there's an Old Blood. So a monster list, really. So overall, looks like this after his Vanguards. Now, I set up first, and I'm going to be getting the first turn. He didn't steal it away, and really looking at this, he's going to have a really hard time because he's playing monsters, I'm playing war machines and stuff, and yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'm just going to be shooting down his toys. The Ripperdactyls, I got to make sure to take them down, but past that, I'm feeling pretty good. So my first turn, I bring on all my stuff, of course, well, except for the miners will have to wait, but the warriors did come up with a great weapon so that they could use the anvil to the flank of the Ripperdactyls if needed. It wasn't because the organ gun rolled 10 shots and just took them right off, so that was pretty awesome. Put a cannon into his Carnosaur Lord. He failed his ward save, killed the Old Blood. Carnosaur was left alive, so I put a rock on him and killed him. So now he just replaced the baby Carnosaur with the big Carnosaur just because it looks better. But, already first turn, he's down his general, down a dinosaur, down Ripperdactyls. So his first turn looks like this. The Scarvet Carnosaur is moving up. All of his other things came on the board, but I mean, it's way back there, so that's so bad. We might as well be playing Battle for the Pass. And by the way, for those who are wondering, we are playing with the magical terrain. It's just, going back and forth. We put some things here to the side. The only thing that's going to matter is that we even used was a forest in the very center, which turned out to be a blood forest, and that never did anything. Otherwise, going back to my turn, pretty much, yeah, just the miners come on. The great weapons are kind of moving their way more to the center of the board. I start my shooting at the center monster there. I have a little bit of misfires, which wasn't all that great. Organ gun won't be able to shoot next turn, but even with that, I was able to kill the Scarvet, put 2 wounds onto the Carnosaur, and then also hit it with the anvil, so it'll be half speed. So he's pretty close anyway, but at least this will make it harder for him. His turn 2, yeah, he just needed, I can't remember what he needed, but he failed, and now he's right here in front of me. And I mean, this is all just because of the anvil on him. If he was full speed, he would have got me. He was like an inch short. Anyway, apart from that, I try and do some shenanigans just because I might as well use it. So I use the Master in a Challenge on the Skink Priest, who decides to flee. And apart from that, his end of his turn looks like this. So, I mean, his Troglodon marches up. Everything's marching up the can. But for the most part, yeah, it's all so far back. Magic here, too. I mean, again, this is going to be, I'll tell you again, no magic off from my opponent because he just has his level 2 Skink Priest. Only spell I really care about was the Wild Form. So actually, yeah, I did lie. I did let a few little things go off on my warriors. And he killed like one of my great weapons. But for the most part, yeah, I just shut down his magic the whole game. On my turn, I'm able to kill that Carnosaur, and I try putting some stuff into the Troglodon, but it doesn't really work, or I think it maybe do a couple of wounds. Either way, I don't kill it, but I also hit with the Anvil, and it's now half speed as well. So his turn 3, he rolls a big old 10, and he goes into my Warriors. But after that's all done, that's the thing with these new monsters, is they're not that strong. Strength 5 to my toughness 4 means that overall he's not going to be doing all that great. I beat his Troglodon by 1, then he breaks, I run him down, and yeah, he's just kind of in a pretty bad spot here. So on my turn, pretty much we're down to a few threats, so I start shooting into these Saurus, and I'm rolling like fire. My Grudge Thrower hits right on, kills tons. My Organ Guns are rolling like 10 and, what was it? I think it was a double 10 shot or 10 and 8. And then I use the Anvil to charge the flank here. And so at the end of the turn, yeah, they break. I run them down as well. And yeah, he's just down to the Basilodon and the one Skink. And on his turn, he goes for the charge here, and he fails, and at this point we just call it, because really I'm just going to shoot down this dinosaur, and that's going to table him. So there you go, a win for the Dwarves, but like I said, I mean, there really was no tactical mistakes because there wasn't really anything he could do. A lot of his stuff started off the board. What started there tried moving forward, but I was just shooting off all of his toys. And, he charged in when he could, but then he had some failed charges, which wasn't made any easier because I made him half speed. And by the time the Saurus got in there, just the whole trick of shoot him up, move to the flank, anvil the charge into the flank, and take them off. Of course, I was getting some luck there as well that didn't help things. So first of all, it was a bad, pretty much matchup from the very beginning, given the scenario and the armies. And then my war machines were rolling crazy. At least he was passing his monster reaction tests. But yeah, like it was just, I mean, and I'm running him down too, right? Like when he's running away, I'm at -1, and I'm still just running down his monsters in the source like it's nothing. So there you go, a win and a technical tabling, because, I mean, when we talked about there, when he pretty much we called the game, pretty much what's going to happen, like we said, is, yeah, I'm just going to shoot off his one dinosaur, organ gun off his priest, and that's it. In worst case scenario, I have to turn around a unit and then anvil charge it in. So there you go. As far as where the tournament's at right now, I've played my 3 games for the round robin. That's going to make it so it's, I get 3 points for playing my 3 games, 3 points for going and winning all games, and then 1 point each for the 2 tablings. So I have 8 points out of a possible 9, so I'm going to be one of the final 4. I think this is all going to start sometime maybe in like a week and a half. That's when this is going to start down. So this should be now down to the more, well, the players that have a lot more experience. And the ones that I think I'm going to see in there is there's a Vampire Counts player, there is a Warriors of Chaos guy, the guy that's actually running the tournament. He's a guy that, if you remember, he had 2 Hell Cannons, and then also the Manticore Lord, which I think I have a pretty good matchup against. And then I don't know who'll be the 4th guy. So there you have it, and we'll see what happens. But either way, we got more tournament reports coming up, so see you then. Bye.